The thing is, we're working with people. They're not robots. So they have their emotions, they have their injuries, they have their whatever they have. And we have to make sure that we are always ready to perform without any excuses.
A naptári év végéhez és a futballszezon feléhez közeledve mindig eljön a pillanat, amikor érdemes leülni és kiértékelni a mögöttünk hagyott rövid, ám sűrű és tartalmas időszakot. Pascal Jansent 2024 nyara óta irányítja a Ferencváros 35-szörös bajnok férfi labdarúgócsapatát, mi pedig arra voltunk kíváncsiak, egy 1-től 10-es skálán hányasra értékelné az eddigi közös munkát és az eddig elért eredményeket.
A 7. A 7 shows that we are doing okay. We're still competitive at all the levels that we want to compete at, but there is still much work to be done to improve, and that is one of the strong qualities of my squad also, that we never settle down. We're not satisfied, so we want to be better and become better every game, every training. So, and that is one of the most important aspects in order to become better, that you analyze what you've done, where you see opportunities to improve and become better, and work on those aspects on a daily routine. And that is something I love about this team, is that they're very open for this approach. That's the only way in my belief that will help you be more successful and become better.
A sikerekhez hosszú út vezet, és hogy Holland vezetőedzőnktől pontos képet kapjunk az ide vezető állomásokról, néhány videós összeállítással idéztük vissza a közelmúlt eseményeit.
That was obviously the first game in our home stadium. That made a huge impact on me, even bigger than I could imagine. If you see how much energy there is in the stadiums normally when the fans are here for us, that is something that surprised me even more than I was told up front. The Grupa Mai was a huge match, the first match, playing for the qualifiers for the Champions League, blowing your opponent off the pitch with 5-0, with a lot of energy, high intensity, is what we were looking forward to. So this game was played in Wales, and we had to finish off the job, and that's what we did in this game, and went through to the next round of the qualifiers for the Champions League. So it's a very, very important moment for us. It's always an exciting moment again, starting the league with the players, and knowing what expectations there are. But this also showed immediately how much respect there is for Ferencváros in the National League, because we had the ball a lot, they went back a lot, defended very deep, and of course we managed to score one goal, but we should have scored many more. There is no difference in approach as it comes to Europe or the domestic league. The privilege to play the European games at this level have to be earned by your performances in the domestic league. So you cannot afford to have anything less in the domestic leagues. Sometimes, unfortunately, we have shown a couple of different faces in games where we didn't start well enough, and we have to chase the game in order to get back into the game. And that is something that we're working really hard on, and making sure that we avoid these kind of phases and try to take the game in hand even more from the beginning of the game, making sure that the opponent doesn't feel any opportunity to compete with us during those games, and that is a challenge itself. Emotions are always there. There's a few things going on in my mind, because I know what I've been told before we started this game, how important it is for everybody who loves Ferencváros to play this derby, and of course the sequence of 16 games in a row, one before this one, and this was the 17th win. You see Barney here also still with the mask, so there was a lot of stuff going on, trying to improve as a team, being involved in Europe. Tosin, who was the match winner with a goal coming on the pitch as a sub, who is not involved in Europe because he's not in the European squad list. So we have different emotions going on within the team, and I felt how important it was for everybody in the stadium to win this game, and the way we did it eventually brings a lot of joy and excitement along with it. It's a moment where you know if you've played a good game or you haven't played a good game, it's the moment where everything is going to be decided. If you've played a very good game but you still have to do the penalty shootout, that is also sometimes you realize, oh, this could be the end. And if you played a game which wasn't that good, you can see it as an extra opportunity to make sure that you go and proceed to the next round. And for us, this was a very important moment because our goal was to be in the Champions League, and obviously we didn't make that because of the games against Midtjylland. And this is the second highest level in Europe as a tournament, so we wanted to be there for sure, and then it's always good to know that you are there. That's quite an entrance for a new striker getting in, showing everybody what he's capable of and what his priority number one job is, of course, scoring goals, being important for the team. And against Puskás, coming on and scoring 3 times is a dream come true, obviously, for any striker. But I've gotten to know Matthäus quite well now in the time that he's been with us. Special guy, and hopefully he will be just as important for Ferencváros as he was in this game.
Ha pedig már a csatárokról van szó, a magyar válogatott Varga Barnabás ebben a fél évben is meghatározó tagja volt együttesünknek.
A totally different type than Matthäus, but a very important character in the dressing room and for our team. So rebuilding him after this major injury was priority. The thing is, Barney has no fear. So once he feels good enough, he will take you to the next step and maybe even skip a step and wants to go quicker, which is always a good sign to be back even quicker than many people expect you to be back. But you've also seen it's taken him a while to get back to his level, because we mustn't underestimate what has happened to him. From the outside world, it's very easy to suggest, okay, you have 2 good strikers, just put them on both and things will turn out right. But you mustn't forget, during the summer we started a process in a way of playing and a strategy. One number 9 is in the squad, in the shape. And when Matthäus came, I knew immediately that it was also part of my plan to see if they could play together. But the team is always the most important, and not the individual player. We had some starting lineups where they played together, and they showed that they are able to play together. It's a strategy that we can use now, but it has taken some work and it's still in progress. This is a goal. This is unbelievable that this goal has been disallowed. And this would have been the icing on the start of the match, because we started really well in this match, and it was also the first time they played together, so it was an exciting moment. But this is where you see that our team is capable of doing special things, playing against a huge club from the Premier League, being competitive, and conceding 2 goals was something that we didn't plan, obviously, but it happened. Very important moment for us as a team to see and feel on the pitch that we could compete with one of the best teams there is in Europe. So that helps the process. If you take it back to the first game in the European campaign, we played away against Anderlecht in Brussels. That was a very tight game. Tough game also, playing away in Brussels. But like we spoke about just now, the game against Tottenham was already better. So you could see we had grown already and learned from the first game. And it all came together in this game, where we showed that we are capable of learning what it needs to perform, what it takes to perform at European top level. The game against Nice was a good example of us showing that we are ready to compete at this level and be successful. Playing away against Kiev, which is one of the top teams in Ukraine, to show that we can show the same level on Thursday and Sunday. That's one of the challenges that we're looking for. Also showing that we can play with our own identity in Europe and try to be more dominant. And scoring 4 goals in an away game in Europe is a huge achievement. and it confirms that we're still growing in this campaign. Nowadays in football, teams can surprise you when you take on that attitude and think that you will be there without even having playing the game. So that's something that my team and myself always avoid in our preparations, to see ourselves as the team on top and maybe allow ourselves to give just a little bit less than what is needed to improve and also win games.
A szezon feléhez érkezve hamarosan újra nyílik az átigazolási piac, ám rekordbajnok együttesünk már is bejelentetett egy sztárigazolást, a Bajnokok Ligája győztes Naby Keita személyében.
Big compliments to Tamas and his team for making it possible to get a player with such a history into our club and hopefully playing very soon for us. But taking in consideration where Naby is coming from, we have to be very careful. We have to be very patient, because he has a long way to go, but he's very eager and very hungry to come and support us and help us achieve our goals. Getting players to fit in the team is always one of the biggest challenges for a coaching staff, because you have to see it this way. At one end, they bring in their experience from their previous situations, and they come into a situation, into a dressing room where there is a culture, where there are customs, and you have to find each other and make sure that what you can add to the dressing room, what you can add to the game, is something that makes the team stronger. On the other hand, a dressing room is always competitive, so it's not only about you. You have to compete with other players on your position. So everything is new, but some things stay the same, like the competitiveness is always there. So management for expectations is very important. Making sure that you can live up to the expectations is something that also a player has to manage, but also a coach has to manage.
Ha pedig már szóba került az öltözői légkör, Pascal Jansent a nagy meccsek után fontosnak tartja, hogy azonnal megossza észrevételeit játékosainkkal.
Listen guys, well deserved, you did well. We're back in the league as we spoke about before the game, but the way we played makes me even more proud, because we stuck to the plan. We showed some good skills as a team today, but also a good fighting spirit, because that was needed. With the help of the supporters, of course, because you can hear them all 95 minutes. They were shouting and chanting for us, but it is a well-deserved win, well-deserved. So we're back in this league. I just saw that also a few of our opponents lost some points again, so overall it's a very good night for us in Europe. Congratulations with your first win. You know my riddle. Sunday is already very close. Make sure you do everything again on Sunday, but enjoy tonight because it's our first win in Europe and well deserved. Okay?
Big compliments for the second half, because you control the game, ball over. What you guys achieved today, especially also with the guys coming in on the second half, giving new energy to the team as well. The challenge will be this Sunday. Are we going to finish strong in this sequence and then take off for the national team break? So everything you do, again, as I address to you always at the Thursday night, everything within your power to be ready to play again on Sunday, because whichever way it goes, we have to finish strong before you guys go to the national teams. If you cannot finish it, enjoy your meal, but also enjoy this important win, because it's an important one at the European stage. Scoring 4 goals in the European game, that is not something that is very common, so well done, guys.
Big compliment to everybody tonight. You see, games can be won in different strategies. You see, you start the game really well. There's one moment when you let them come back into the game, and then it starts to be a little bit shaky. Second half, big compliment for you guys. What I asked you at halftime to do in midfield and the areas that you have to play in, very well done. And you exposed also their weaknesses once you did this. Great goals in the turnover. As we knew up front, a weak spot on their end. So perfect at this European platform. enjoy it tonight because it's a big win and well deserved, okay?
Évértékelőnket Holland vezetőedzőnkkel az utolsó 2024-es UEFA Európa Liga mérkőzésünk előtt rögzítettük, a PAOK otthonában azonban nem sikerült a szép zárás.
As you could see in the previous matches, we were also maturing into the tournament, being very stable in the European games. And today was an example of exactly the opposite. So that was a surprise for me as well. Of course, you could see their right side was in good shape, but that's something that we expected also. But I think we showed too much respect for their right side also. After the first 10-15 minutes, I was quite pleased with what I saw because we were controlling the energy in the stadium and the intentions of PAOK. But once we conceded the first goal, which was also from their right side, then you could see there was hesitation coming into the game, and they took a good advantage of this situation. Conceding 5 goals in any match is too much. So that is, from our side, is something that is very strange and very hard to believe and very hard to accept. They exposed our weakness, especially on the left side today, and that is something that we have to work on in order to be better for the next game, that's for sure.
A görögországi túra után aztán sikerült jó szájízzel zárni a bajnoki évet, miután Varga Barnabás fejesével elhoztuk a 3 pontot Nyíregyházáról. Az elvárások és a célok 2025-ben is labdarúgócsapatunkkal lesznek a hazai és a nemzetközi küzdelmekben is. Pascal Jansent úgy érzi, minden adott a sikeres szerepléshez, ám mielőtt elbúcsúztunk volna tőle, egy külön kérése is volt stábunk felé. Szeretné, ha készítenénk neki egy 10 perces videóösszeállítást az elmúlt fél év legszebb pillanatairól, hiszen az ünnepek alatt szeretné megmutatni a családjának a felvételeket.
I feel a tremendous amount of respect from within the club, a lot of support. My players are open for the ideas that we have and try their very best in order to fulfill them, and those are the ingredients that need to be there in order to be successful together. So let's hope that we will stay successful and become more successful than we are now. Christmas we're always at home together with the family and spend good time together. After a few days off, my head already goes back to the game and preparations for the second half. So getting the energy back and making sure that we are ready to go again on the 3rd of January.
We wish you the best of luck for this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pascal.
Köszönöm.
Thank you. Köszönjük szépen.